Do you believe in the existence of extraterrestrials?
Good morning, good evening, or good afternoon, depending on where and when you're watching this broadcast. I'm Thomas Fessler, my friends, and this is Disclosure Tonight. Happy Friday, August 16th, 2025. Boy, do we have a full schedule to talk about today. Who thought the summer was not going to have a lot of things going on? Well, that was me and Mike. He's not here today, so let's go ahead and welcome in our audience and get the show on the road. Who do we have out there? Let's welcome in AJ, Anonymous Rex. Good to see you, friends. Brennan England's here along with Carlitos Wave. We got Craig Smith, Eliza Teal, Eric Groth, and the Gurus. Fireflies here along with Francis Tremblay, Geraldine Durazio. Two of you are here. How about that? We've got Gray Hair Discoveries in the chat along with Indigo, J-Cat Meow, and Joseph Ferrantino is here. Good to see you, Julian Reverbal. We got Kane Northrup, Kelly Brout, and those piercing blue eyes. Logan Ja is here. Mantoy, we got Maritime Unprepared. Masters Vic, Megan Betts is here. Mississippian, Mr. Grimlock. A lot of long names. Mr. Joey B, Player One. Roni Deal is here. Sam and Shelly Montgomery. Good to see you, Shelly. Steve Hines is here along with the Vern Dude. Turn to See Maga. Good to see you. Turn to See. Wee Beastie is here. And of course, haven't seen you in a while. Our dear friend Wes Decker is in the chat, who just gave us a super chat. Thank you very much, Wes. We appreciate that. And on that note, let me go ahead and jump into the studio and get this party on the road. Yes. Tonight's top story, Luna's war with Elizondo. Yes. It's a doozy. Did not expect it to go this way, but well, let's have fun with it. God, it's gone in places I never thought we'd see this kind in public. Yeah. But let's have the fun part first. The first part of our story we've got up tonight, folks, before we get to the kicker on here. It's all about, this is all about Luna tonight in a lot of different ways. So what is our first thing we're talking about? Oh, yes, Luna claims interdimensional UAP. Meanwhile, on Joe Rogan. Yes, actually say meanwhile on Joe Rogan. Luna claims interdimensional UAP. I've got a video here of Representative Anna Polina Luna, a little 4.5 minute clip coming from the start of, actually from the Joe Rogan podcast she was just on. A lot of interesting things to say, not a lot of stuff to back it up as usual, but let's see where this goes, everybody. Let me jump into the document and let's get down to the video. It's probably better. All right, let's go ahead, folks, and let's play this clip and have some fun with it. Okay, folks, here we go.
I can also tell you, and this might sound crazy, but based on our investigations and stuff that we've seen, okay, there is definitely something that I think would rival what we know currently with physics, and a tech that potentially is out there that we don't have the ability to reproduce, because it would basically be like dropping a cell phone right off back during the time of maybe caveman. So like we just don't have the tech to develop it yet. What I can also tell you is based on
dropping a cell phone to the caveman's interesting. Let's listen more.
Our interviews, and this has been something that you can go back and watch with the congressional hearings, but I was actually able to ask some of the witnesses, what are these things? And they keep saying interdimensional, and then when you talk about the interdimensional aspect of, are these things pre-existing, maybe outside of what we currently know as our own dimension? That stuff can kind of all sound crazy, but at the end of the day, my job as an investigator is to receive all the information, decipher it, and then ultimately from a congressional aspect, if you do have contractors that are withholding information or operating outside of the purview of the federal government, there's budgetary issues, but there's definitely something that I can tell you with confidence that exists that we don't know how to explain currently.
So when you say that
well, she talks really fast, but she's got a lot of interesting things to say. It's there. It's a way advanced technology. It's like dropping off a cell phone to a caveman. People have been talking about it being interdimensional, but man, we've heard it 20 years or if not longer being discussed as interdimensional from people who used to be in the military, like Colonel John Alexander, retired. Yeah, great people out there talking about this. Great to see Luna's finally getting into this. Let's continue on with this interview. Here we go.
operates outside our understanding of physics. What specifically are you saying? Like what happened?
To I guess break it down in simple terms is that I think that some of the tech that exists, that whatever these things have, these energy things have,
energy things? What do you mean?
Well, they call them interdimensional beings. I think that they can actually operate through the time spaces that we currently have, and that's not something that I came up with on my own. That's based on stuff that we've seen. That's based on information that we've been told. And then also, too, I think that there's this historical aspect of, this gets into the deeper theories and concepts of religion. And I think the history that we currently know.
But don't forget, David Grush talked about a flying or a UFO, I believe it was a saucer, that was like 60 feet or so on the outside of the craft. But when they went inside of the craft, it was like the size of a football pitch, like for soccer. Not only that, which is a different dimension of space. Also, when the person went in, they said they were only in there for like 15, 20 minutes on their watch, but yet on the outside clock, they were gone for 4 hours, also meaning a dimension of both space and time, which could also means they can also pop in and pop out of our reality from where they're potentially coming from. Thing is, they're not coming from space, folks. If they're on it, they're already here. And if they have bases of operation within our dimension, it's underneath the oceans. It's places we can't get to, or on the inside of the moon potentially. But we keep on worrying about a giant craft coming to the planet. No, folks, they're here and they've been here for a really long time. Let's continue.
And that kind of spins off into another topic of, you have the modern day Bible, you have this aspect of Bibles or books of the Bible that have been removed that explain and kind of touch on these topics. And I think that we're in a time and age where you have such a vast amount of information that we have access to via social media, via your cell phone, via the internet. And so it's really changing the way that we understand, the origins of life and the spiritual reality that we know.
When you say interdimensional being,
why do they keep on bringing up a spiritual reality? Does that mean God's an alien? Potentially, angels and demons are aliens as well, and it's just what we're kind of calling them these days. It's if they're talking about consciousness is separate from spirituality, if you want to call it. Spirituality is kind of more of a religious context than it is just talking about what do you call it? Spiritual? How do I say this again? Consciousness is talking about it without intermixing with religion, and that's where we need to keep this. We don't need another religion, folks. We don't need to rewrite the existing religions. We just need to understand what the heck we've got going on here. But Julian in the chat says they are not from Earth. But if they're not from Earth, well, if they've been here for millions of years, and we've only been here for hundreds of thousands of years, and they had their hands in creating us, I guess they could make them our creator. And if they have lived here for that long, technically, it's their planet, not ours. Let's continue.
That they know that these are interdimensional beings. How do they know that?
Based on testimony, would be based on witnesses that have come forward. But what I can tell you is,
the witnesses just were told that they were interdimensional?
that they've seen things. And what I can tell you without getting into classified conversations is that there have been incidences that I believe where very credible people have reported that there have been movement.
Okay. First catch here. I believe. There are people who've told me. Not factual, folks. Based on what people are being told. And we want nuts and bolts facts here. It's good to hear this, but at this point, you just got to take it, that little red pill, put it to the side. Hold on for a second.
Outside of time and space.
That's very vague.
Yeah. So, look.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Look. Have I seen a portal open? No. Have I seen a spaceship? Personally, no. Have I seen evidence of this? Yes. Have I seen photo documentation of aircraft that I believe were not made by mankind? Yes. Is there historical?
Oh, shit.
Yes. So do I believe that the government has access to certain technology? Yes, to an extent. And I believe that certain contractors potentially have back engineered this tech. I think that that's what can explain the advancements that we're seeing. But I also believe that this is a dangerous level of hidden information from the American people, because if you have an...
Hey, Ed, your hand is up, my friend. What say you?
Well, we've been talking about this off and on a lot, Thomas, and it seems like what kind of disclosure is that? That's that drip disclosure that she's talking about. She's picking this stuff up from witnesses that have testified before her committees or that she's interviewed. It seems to me like she's saying, you know, the same thing Lou said, we are not alone. So how many people with some degree of credibility, like Congress, can say we are not alone, and finally everyone will pick up and say, yeah, we're not alone.
And kind of what we're hearing here, correct me if I'm wrong, Ed, we've all heard this from other people in the past. Is there anything new here that's being brought out yet?
Well, no, but see, that's what I'm saying about quantity. How many is it going to take? You know, does it take 1,000 people saying we're not alone, 1 million people, where everyone else says, I guess I'll just throw in the towel there and say we're not alone?
But
I'm just not getting why people are still saying, well, I don't believe in that stuff.
But you got to remember, it's the word believe. I believe. She's not saying I know. Believe is a hedge.
Yeah, well, that's true. But so all she's really implying is, well, one of them has not landed in my backyard, so or met me in my bedroom or whatever, you know, like all the abductees have said. She's not been abducted. She's not had a personal experience.
Yeah.
But she's getting a lot of third-party stuff from whistleblowers.
Yeah, like the third parties we've here go ahead and claim the Tic Tacs are from Lockheed Martin. Oh boy. Hopefully not those folks. Hopefully nothing to do with Greer. Freezer Man, your hand is up, and then we'll get back to the video.
The one person that could solve this is the president. It only takes one person to say, like, I like what Ed's saying about how many people do we need to keep saying that they're real. We just need the president to come out and say it, and it's simple.
Yeah. That's true. And earlier in the year, at the start of the year, Lou came out there and said, the only thing we're going to get from the government is acknowledgement and nothing more. Hopefully that'll be enough to move things forward. Let's get back to the rest of this video because we got like 2 or 3 more of this to get through. Here we go, folks.
An aspect of the federal government, which I can tell you, I, with 2 other members of Congress, were denied access to information at Eglin Air Force Base pertaining to whistleblowers because of the fact, and we can get into that story and what happened at Eglin in a second, but we were denied access and told that we don't have security clearance or the read-in authority on a special access program. That's a problem because I'm supposed to represent and be an investigative body, and you have then people who are unelected that are operating basically in secrecy. And that's a problem.
Now, one thing I want to bring up before we get on to this next clip here is that in the conversation, let me get this back here. In the conversation with, oh God, what the hell is going on here? Well, let me see where I was at. My mind just lost my train of
authority on a special access program. That's a problem because I'm supposed to represent and be an investigative body.
All right, special access program. Here's the key, folks. There are special access programs that was initially brought out earlier this year from Kirsten Gillibrand called a presidential special access program. And the only ones in Congress that have access and knowledge to any of those executive level special access programs, it's not the Gang of 8, folks. It's the Gang of 4, meaning you have the majority leader in the House, the minority leader in the House, the leader of the Senate, the minority leader in the Senate. That's it. It's a very small piece. So if she's complaining and saying, hey, they're not giving me access to this, I'm supposed to be there and be able to go ahead and survey it. The truth of the matter is she doesn't have the clearance required for this kind of a program. I wish they did, but it's just a matter of fact on that one. Let me go ahead. We've got someone who wants to get into the show. Is he in? Oh, there we go. Here he goes. Let me admit Syrup. Let me bring him in the show. Yeah, Mike usually helps out on that. Let's go ahead and get to our next clip of Anna Polina Luna. Which one are we going to get to next? Yeah, there's a bunch of them. Not that one. We got the red cube. Okay, so on this next one, she's going to talk about a huge red cube next. The next one that we're going to be talking about, let's get this up here right now. Video solo. Okay, let's get into it. From metamaterial over on X. Luna on the infamous Eglin UAP meeting with Commander Jarity. Burchett says, we can do this the easy way or the hard way. Commander says, well, they're gonna like they're gonna like that. I'm not gonna let you see this. And then literally he leaves and drives to Georgia. So let's get into this particular piece here and see what they have to say about Eglin Air Force Base again. Now, this is a story from a couple of years ago, I believe. After couple hearings ago, let's see where this goes, folks. Here we go.
Gates had come forward and
zoom up a little bit larger for the audience. All right, here we go.
So Representative Gates had come forward and said that he had two or three pilots had to contact him saying that the Air Force was covering up information regarding to UAP activity in the panhandle, and he wanted us to go with him to investigate. So we show up at Eglin Air Force Base. We're met by the base commander. Previous to us even showing up on this congressional delegation to investigate, the Pentagon had tried to cancel the meeting. You can't just cancel a meeting and say you can't come to the base. That doesn't work. So Gates actually was on House Armed Services at the time that oversees the U.S. military. And so Gates got the chairman involved, calls back onto the Pentagon, gets this meeting on the books. And, we told them specifically, we want to see information on UAPs, we want to see the evidence, and we want to have the pilots that saw these aircraft, whatever they are, or these spacecraft, we want to have briefings from them. In a nutshell, we get to Eglin Air Force Base. They keep BSing us about the Chinese spy balloon. That's not what we were there to see. And ultimately, we were in the SCIF. We got into a verbal disagreement with the base commander at the time, who was denying us access to the pilots and to the information, and said that we didn't have the authorization. In the SCIF, there was many members of the intelligence community. We then go back upstairs to the conference room and proceed to, again, basically have it out with this commander. And Representative Burchett said, we could do this the easy way or the hard way. And if it's the hard way, you're going to have, Representative Gates and Luna in D.C. questioning you. So I suggest you do it the easy way. So he actually, in the middle of the meeting, we were kind of holding his feet to the fire on it. He kind of got nervous as we were talking to him. And I kid you not, he goes, they're going to like that I'm not going to let you see this. So he kind of was thinking out loud, but didn't realize that he was basically saying it. And then in the middle of our meeting, he gets up and leaves the room. I have to go to the restroom or something. And then maybe 5 minutes later, this tech sergeant comes in and says, oh, the base commander's been authorized to go on leave to Georgia. He won't be coming back. And I'm sitting there looking at Gates and Burchett. I'm like, he just left, in the middle of a congressional delegation.
So yeah, old stories talking to us again about this particular situation. It's interesting to say the least. This is all stuff we've heard before with regards to this, and it's unfortunate that they didn't get to see anything they wanted to in Eglin, but if they're not allowed to talk and she's not allowed to know what's going on, what are you gonna do? What do you say, Ed?
I think there's two important points in that video. The first one is the movement. The guy going on vacation, just leaving, getting up and going to Georgia. That just to me is absurd that he would do that. And basically, he's let the cat out of the bag. I really know something. There's no way I'm going to stand here and let you beat it out of me. That's what I get out of that. So,
or he called his supervisor and they told him, get the hell out of there.
Well, then there's a big cover up there. The other point is, if I was her or any of the members of Gates or any of the, not Gates now because he's not in Congress, but Burchett, I would say, well, fine. Well, then do it right in front of the public and bring him in this September meeting, bring him in as a hostile witness, put him in a chair, and then beat him to death with questions to see if you can get something out of him. That's what I'd do. Yeah.
Well, it's true. You know what, Mike? Not Mike, Ed. What the heck have they done since then? Have they called the base commander in under subpoena to go ahead and testify? Have they returned back to that location when she goes back to Florida? What have they done with that since the door was closed on them? It's been almost a couple years. Why haven't they done anything yet? That's the kicker, where everyone's saying the House, they make a lot of noise and they don't do anything though.
Yeah, very good point. You gotta wonder, okay, are we just going to bump up against his door be told no and then just say, okay, thank you very much, we're leaving, never come back. I think they need to follow up on it and just keep honing in
Or in this
on this issue until we can get some information. Now, having said all that, and I'm being very cooperative in trying to look at these alternate theories, I still believe, you've heard me say this, the audience has heard me say it, I think the NHI may be holding back disclosure. Maybe they don't want us to know what that was at Eglin.
Or maybe they do want us to move forward, and our government is reluctant for whatever reasons our government has, and now the NHI is taking it into their own hands and moving forward with or without the stupid humans listening to what we bargained for.
Well, it may be, but I think worst case is what if we at some point find out, and it's probably not going to be in the near future, we somewhat find out that the people that really know, and say the president is one of them and Luna is one of them, Burgett's, they really find out what it is, and it counters Lou's assertion that these are friendly people, more like Bassett's assertion too, but that they really are not friendly, and that it really would cause social disruption if we let that out.
Based on a lot of experiencers and people who have dealt with it, they're not friendly. But then again, they're doing the same thing to humans, to the same thing we do with our planet and all the other life that's on it. So in the pecking order of things, what could we do? Well, not a lot, especially if they're as advanced as they want. And, we may see them as good or bad, but my guess is they are just what they are. And I've been told by very credible people, a very, very credible source who's relatively up there in the disclosure area, that these are not good things. Flat out. They are not good. For what they've done, for what he went through and what he's experienced and everything. No, this is not an experience you would want to go through, your kids, your friends, your family, anything. It's far from it.
The Collins elite have it, right? The people, in the Collins elite that say, don't mess with these, you're going to really regret messing with these. Maybe they've got it right.
Yeah, don't open Pandora's box. You'll be sorry. Yeah, one of those. All right, let's get to our next clip if we can. Where is this at? All right, here we go, folks. All right, Annapolina Luna tells Joe Rogan about a football field-sized red cube that flew over Vandenberg Air Force Base and was witnessed by hundreds of people. Maybe those would be good people to bring in as witnesses. You never know if they'd want to go along with Luna. So let's go ahead and listen about this. This is a new one for me. I've never heard about this one. So let's jump into it, folks.
One of the witnesses had talked about what had happened at Vandenberg Air Base, where there was this thing that appeared over the base. It actually had multiple blotters reporting on it from phone calls into law enforcement from like hundreds of people. And whatever had appeared over the base was basically bigger than a football field and basically a cube, a red cube with some weird thing in the center of it. I actually had our witness draw this out. This guy is sober as a priest. I mean, was a great pilot, and he's talking about all this. And so, you talk about this stuff, it seems like a sci-fi movie, but based on the evidence that we've seen, I don't have any reason to believe that these people are lying. Based on the evidence that I've seen from our own government, I think that there's something there that the American people deserve to have access to. And so this is not just on this topic, but again, in other topics as well, this has been my perspective, is transparency is what builds trust. Other governments have revealed certain information on it. To think that we are the only, life form on this planet or in this galaxy, I think is a little bit crazy. One of the witnesses had talked.
So, yeah, I've never heard of this giant cube, size of a football field. Ed, is this anything that, you've heard of?
I have not heard of the cube, but I do think what she said is significant. Just look at how many people have come to them saying there's something there, and nobody can crack that nut. Doesn't that seem strange? The other thing is, how many people are involved in ufology now? Would you guess 10,000 maybe people that are following this around the world? And nothing is breaking through that glass ceiling that we got to break through.
Yeah. It seems like it, my friend. We just need that smoking gun, that undisputable piece of evidence that people can look at and say, oh, yeah, now I know, rather than, oh, I believe this or I believe that. We need something that'll pass the muster of a jury of public opinion. Freezerman, your hand is up, my friend.
The 2003 Vandenberg case was the one that Ryan Graves testified at that congressional hearing back in with David Grush and Colonel Commander Fravor.
Right, but
and
he
also,
actually didn't see it himself. It was other people that had seen it.
One of the witnesses, though. One of the witnesses, I'm not sure if he was a contractor or a member of the Air Force, but Ryan Graves interviewed him as well. And it was quite the fascinating story.
Yeah.
It's almost this UAP came from the ocean.
Right, and that one you're talking about where Ryan Graves mentions a cube inside of a translucent sphere. Here, what we're talking about is a cube that may be somewhat translucent with something big in it. And I believe the cube within a sphere was actually seen on the ranges where they go ahead and do their practicing and everything, and there was a range follower report. And that's something... Yeah.
Sorry.
No.
But Ryan Graves also investigated the one from Vandenberg, and he talked to the guy. So yeah.
Interesting. Thank you very much for that little piece of info, my friend. Yeah, crazy stuff going on all in Disclosure right now. Now, after, oh God, do I have this one here? Let me see if I can find one more clip here. I don't know if I got this one. I should, but I want to look for, let me just do a quick search on X because this goes along with it. Luna. Okay, I got it. Here we go. Let's bring this one up next. So the next one we've got to is, here we go. I'll just read the intro. It's coming from, believe it or not, from Stephen Greenstreet, but this is a good section of news to go ahead and cover. Let's go ahead and get to this now. Where are we at? All right, here we go. On Joe Rogan, Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna says UFO activists LUE Elizondo, not a whistleblower, but activists, Christopher Mellon and David Grush, are full of crap since they all called out sick the day that they were supposed to reveal their evidence inside of a classified SCIF. Now, if you listen closely, she's not going to name them here, but we know in the past on several instances, in an interview with Matt Lazo, and I believe in another one with Joe Cahill, she actually did call out the names LUE Elizondo, Christopher Mellon, and David Grush. So let's play this, and let's see where this takes us, folks. It just gets deeper and deeper. We're only scratching the surface on this one. Let's have some fun with it.
The problem is I've reached out to some of the biggest names in UFO lore, okay? And they all got SCIF Flu, and we call it SCIF Flu, meaning like the day that the SCIF was open, that we reserved it. We're like, we're here. Like, come on, come brief us. They get sick, or
and
their dog dies.
They didn't recover and come back?
They didn't recover, and then they just don't talk to us anymore. So
they ghost you?
They ghost us. Yeah, so I'm like, well, if you're not going to tell me to SCIF, then you're full of crap. The problem is
oh boy, them's be fighting words. But you know what? It's going to get better. Now, the follow-up for this. Let me get myself back to interview guest here. Let me go ahead and find the next tweets that I have here to bring up. Oh, where is that L bookmarks? Let's get back to it. No, not that one. I know it's down here somewhere. Let me get this one. This one came from a tweet that was put out there by LUE Elizondo in his... Actually, no. You know what? Before he did this, I've got that one. Where did that video go? All right, so next, on News Nation, LUE Elizondo addresses Representative Luna's SCIF Flu comment on the Joe Rogan Experience and their ensuing exchange, which is going to be happening at X. Actually, you know what? If it's ensuing, let me see if I can find that one here. Hold on a second here. All right, here we go. Let's look at this one next, and then we get this video next. I mean, this tweet from LUE. Then there's going to be him appearing later that night or the next day on News Nation, and then all fucking hell breaks loose today. This is just never cross a woman's scorn. They never forget, and they will always make you pay. Sorry, ladies, but yeah, let's get to this one. All right, where am I at? Here we go. After the visit to D.C., at the request of the members of Congress, at my own expense, we were given cancellations at the last minute. I mean, he was supposed to go to D.C. He had gone there, and they were giving a cancellation, like for some reason they can't meet with him now. So after coming back home again, I made it clear the last time that I had a pre-existing commitment. I was given 3 days notice and no guarantees while having committed to speaking in Oregon at the UFO Fest. It's something that Lou is doing. He's trying to get out there in the public, which is a public appearance for a lot of people. Luna knows the truth, and we have the emails to prove it. I will chalk this up to her not being informed by her staff and an innocent mistake. I hope. Otherwise, let this be a lesson to future whistleblowers who want congressional protections. Ooh, this is fighting words. This is all about media attention and less about truth. I hope this is not the case. And I suspect Chris Mellon and others at the UAPDF, that's just a typo, that know the truth may have to say more about this. Christopher Mellon, Joe Rogan, and real Anapolina Luna. Ooh, fighting words, I tell you. And what does he release? Okay, I need to go ahead and bring this down so you can see it, and I'll bring up the other one. Let's bring this up, and I'll zoom it on. Here we go. We don't have the date, unfortunately. That's redacted from us or not shown. Regarding classified UAP briefing, good afternoon. I sincerely apologize for the late notice, but due to the ever influx congressional schedule and some conflicts, we need to shift the non-governmental briefing to the week of May 12th. We will reach back out with our new date that will hopefully work for everyone. Look forward to seeing you all on Thursday. Best, Mitch. So last minute, they're going to shift it, and we want you all to come in, it sounds like, possibly next Thursday. So I'm not sure if this is a reply. Maybe this is the top of it. From below it, it says, from Dylan Guthrie, sent Monday, April 28th, 2025 at 4:35 p.m. to a bunch of people. And we have someone, Benzine, got something Mitchell, Christian William, Jim Beely, Kyle McKay, Jake Greenberg, David Clark, Arbrusk, David Grush is here. Also, the SAA's House Security Office, Olivia Hill, Luis Elizondo, Christopher Mellon, Eric Davis, and Tim Gallaudet. Those must be the people who all got the SCIF Flu, potentially, who are going to be invited. Now, if we look a little closely on here, you can say, oh, wow. Are those some email addresses poking through? It is. What happens if you take that email and you adjust the brightness and contrast and levels and shadows and everything? Would you look at that? Surprise, surprise, surprise. Look at this. We got all of these wonderful emails. We've got David Grush. We've got Clark's email. We got William Christian's. We have Mitchell Benzine's email. We have William Christensen's email. Whoever Dylan Guthrie is, we now have his iCloud account. We have Tim Gallaudet's email. We have Eric Davis, who is also actually, that's Christopher Mellon at iCloud. Yeah, he's there. Eric Davis at earthtech.org. There we got, I can't read Lou Elizondo's, but no, that's Olivia Hill. Lou's is actually pretty well blacked out. Good job on yours, Lou. But it's all there. Now, Ed, would you say this is offering transparency?
Well, not what they intended, I would say. It is interesting. I'm sitting there with the computer right up against my eye, trying to extract as much of this as I can. Oh,
it's there. And you can zoom in, and you can see all the email addresses that were put in there. We're just reporting on this, but yeah, So that is transparency coming from LUE. Now, yeah, interesting counterintelligence work, unless, because after someone told him right after he put it out that, oh my God, the names are there and everything, he didn't take it down. He just left it up. Because I guess potentially once the cat's out of the bag, it's out of the bag for good, isn't it?
Yeah, it sure is. Before you move forward, though, Thomas, let's back up to where you're talking about her frustration with them not all showing up. I bet that was more of a decision by a staffer to cancel that meeting or to shift that meeting. And it may be something that she's not even aware of. Because I know some of those people, and I can't see them in bulk just all saying they're not going to show up.
Yeah, I know. Something's gone astray. Now, if that was the case, she could have come out and said, yeah, it was a problem. Everything was there. But no, friends, get ready. The daggers are coming out. All right, which section are we in? I've been forgetting to put on my stinking title cards. Okay, we got that one done. Luella responds to Luna's claims. Now, what's next? Unintended disclosure. Lou pushes back on the SCIF Flu on X, but wait, friends. This is about where we're about to go next. Luna escalates the war against Lou. That's our title card for a good reason. Because she went lunatic today. Filled with lunacy. Going back and forth in a way you wouldn't expect. Summoning Congress to act. Oh my. She's been working too close to Jasmine Crockett lately. Eesh. Let's go ahead and let me get this back here so I can go ahead and bring up the next one. Yeah, I've got the next pieces here. There's a bunch of tweets we're going to go through today. Luna's been going back and forth with absolutely everybody, engaging with everybody. So, you know what? I didn't play Lou's story. Okay, so after Lou put out that clip, let me get this one back. After putting out his initial tweet on X that he did, the next piece that we're going to have is Lou over on News Nation giving us some more detail and insight in this one. Granted, he's going to look at one of the UFOs we looked at and said it's not a UFO. He thinks it's something prosaic. There's a good hedge there. He just says he doesn't know. But this is where it starts to heat up. Drama. I guess when nothing happens, drama happens, my friends. But we all love it. So let's get to the next one. Where is that at? All right, video full. Okay, let's play this next clip, everybody. Have some fun with it. 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Where did I lose it? Where did I lose it? There we go. Let's play it. Here we go.
I'm going to be completely honest. I have no idea what to make of this. Have you seen the latest UFO video going viral on social media? Check this out. Did you catch it? Okay, so we're actually going to slow it down, slow motion. Take a look. Okay, so you're going to see this shoot past. Look at that. Look at that. I have no idea what that is. Is it a lens flare? Is it something that's shooting out? Remember, this is actually near England's Royal Air Force Base. So is it a UFO? Well, I want to ask the man who spent years investigating UFO videos for the Pentagon. LUE Elizondo is with us. Lou, what is it?
Well, that's a great question, isn't it? I think a lot of people, especially in the UFO community, will jump to the conclusion that it's something anomalous. They'll point to the fact that, oh, it looks like it's going hypersonic velocity. But the reality is there's a lot more questions than there are answers. And when I look at this, it reminds me of some of the videos we saw at the Pentagon, where someone will capture an image with a cell phone and there's a tiny scratch on the lens. And what happens is when you turn the camera lens to a certain degree or angle, it will catch light momentarily for just a second, and it'll appear to be some sort of object that you're looking at, when in reality, what it is, it's some sort of refraction, actually, because there's some sort of imperfection in the lens. Now, let me caveat, I have not personally analyzed this particular video. I've seen it several times. Obviously, it's making the rounds. But when I see this, I have to say that it seems, superficially anyways, that it's probably more prosaic. I suspect it's probably something to do with the actual lens of the camera or the cell phone that's being used to record it. I'm not convinced that it's truly anything anomalous. I know I'm going to get beat up bad by social media for saying that, but look, the reality is we have to do our due diligence, right? And it could be that this is something very prosaic, or it could be something extraordinary. But
this is not the
I think
one.
it's prosaic.
Listen, it's good to be skeptical. It's important to be skeptical. I'm disappointed, but listen, we need more analysis. I totally get it.
This is the wrong video, son of a gun. Let me see if I can go ahead and find this one here, folks. I thought I had the right one here. Let me get back to my desk here, and let's figure this out, chat, really quick. I know I had one of the interviews here where Lou was talking about... This isn't it. I thought I had a response on News Nation from Lou, but apparently... here we go. I think this might be it. Here we go. Lou responds. Okay. Here we go. I found it, folks. This is a different part of the same interview. That's why I missed it. Let me go ahead. Let's play this one. Here we go.
Who are in the middle of this public back and forth with Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna? She has been a big supporter of UFO transparency, but now she claims that whistleblowers are dodging her request to have people like you testify in a classified room called a SCIF. It's a sensitive compartmented information facility. She didn't mention you specifically, but take a look.
I've reached out to some of the biggest names in UFO lore. They all got SCIF Flu, and we call it SCIF Flu, meaning like the day that the SCIF was open, that we reserved it. We're like, we're here. Like, come on, come brief us. They get sick. They ghost us. Yeah, so I'm like, well, if you're not going to tell me to SCIF, then you're full of crap.
Now, after you criticized her comments on Joe Rogan's show, her comments that she replied back, she said, you're a strange and frankly bizarre post. She didn't even mention you by name. Lou, what is going on here? Why do you think she's referring to you? What's happening here?
Sure. Well, first of all, let me applaud the work that she's doing for disclosure and for greater transparency. She's doing a tremendous work in that area, and I'm a big fan of her. I have been for a very long time. I've spoken to her many times, very frankly. But this was clearly, if you look at social media, this was a reference. She refers to SCIF Flu, referring to the individuals that were originally arranging a SCIF meeting for her. That was myself, Chris Mellon, and several others. Now, she did not mention me by name. And in all fairness, I really hope this is a miscommunication. But if she was referring to me, and by the way, in her tweet, she didn't say she wasn't. She never said I wasn't talking about you, Lou. So we still don't know. But if she was, I needed to make it clear, because if someone's going to go on an internationally syndicated podcast and make an inference that I, for whatever reason, had flu and was sick at the time of a SCIF, that's not accurate. It's not even remotely in the world of any type of reason. In fact, I've already talked in a SCIF already with the DOD and the DNI as well. And oh, by the way, under their IG programs. And also, I testified under oath before the American people, and I was in DC 3 separate times when our meetings in the SCIF were canceled and postponed. Now, keep in mind, I live in rural Wyoming in the middle of nowhere. My closest airport's 30 miles, and I have one plane that leaves from our airport every day, and it's a CRJ 200.
So you would testify, by the way, if she asked you again?
1,000%. And in fact, no one's ghosting her, at least not me. I would love an opportunity. I just need some notice. Got to give me more than 3 days.
I totally get it. And at the end of the day, I wanted to ask you, because you guys are on the same side. It's for transparency. So I hope it happens.
100%.
Lou Elizondo.
Lou is not an enemy. Correct. Look, she's doing great
I hear
work.
you. I hear you. Lou, thank you so much.
I'm a friend, not an enemy of what she's trying to do.
Got it. Thank you for clearing the air. Appreciate it, Lou. Good seeing you.
Absolutely. Honor and privilege.
Well, interesting. Not an enemy. Okay. But someone who would potentially, if you want to call it, go and testify. Now, got to wait till Anna Paulina Luna coming back on this one on X today. It's a doozy. So I'm going to go ahead and put this back to my desk for a second here. Let's get Zoom solo. All right, let's get into this. I want to go ahead and get this one particular ready here. There are a bunch of tweets that are on this one. Oh, Anna Paulina Luna. Where do I start? This is one of many tweets. Sorry if it's not in the exact potential order, but we'll get through it. You're going to see where this is going. Here we go. Desktop. All right, here we go. Let me get this so everyone can go ahead and see this. Actually, I'll just go down the video. So here we go. Let's get to this one so you can see it a little bit larger on the screen. I just talked to Comer regarding issuing subpoenas for certain individuals that developed the SCIF flu or had other things come up when we asked them to come in and divulge information to Congress. What I love about this job is flushing out the truth tellers from those that are trying to sell books and potentially be disingenuous in an effort to undermine our investigations. See you in the SCIF. Never cross a woman scorned, and she's been crossed, and boy, she's not happy on this one. Yeah, we need to pull on this one. Okay. Lou had said that he had been in 3 times in D.C. in recent months, and during that time, he had a SCIF meeting canceled because Annapolena Luna or someone became suddenly unavailable. That's what the claims are. Now we got this one going on. So what is the claim? Oh, gosh. It's a hot mess express, absolutely. I'm not sure what to put on the title from this. I want to get this done, and then we'll do a couple more polls on this one just because this one's going to get really deep here. Twitter reactions have been priceless. Please tell me this means that you're planning on issuing a subpoena for James Lukatsky. A bunch of other people are going to be saying, where's the one from Joe Maguria? Is this the one? All right. Let me try and find that one. This is a good one. All right. Is the one? Okay, here's some good ones. Anna just can't help herself with taking shot at witnesses. And do we really need a subpoena for LUE Elizondo and Christopher Mellon and Grush? Now the member of Congress who was disingenuous with I never named Luan Rogan is accusing witnesses of being disingenuous. Her next statement is, imagine saying holding people accountable regarding divulging information is taking shots. Maybe you should be asking why. Who is she replying to? Okay, to Joe Maguria. Maybe you should be asking why classified info has not been shared with Congress when we asked individuals nicely, not using subpoenas. Instead, you try to discredit our work. Maybe you would prefer there is no task force. Well, we've got a story on this one, too, because she doesn't seem to be the best leader of the task force could have been. Apparently, we've got a news clip from Askapol coming in where it's saying that, well, Tim Burchett was supposed to be the leader, and Annapolena pulled some strings so she could be the leader. Maybe that could be why Tim has been so actually, it could be why we're in the situation that we're in. So some other feedback from people on X. Grush has provided your colleague with Eric Burleson and others with names of hostile witnesses. Why don't you subpoena them? I don't understand why a scheduling conflict gets aired on social media and podcasts for drama headlines. Let's get this done. Absolutely, 100%. Couldn't say it better myself. Next. The information hasn't been shared because you cancel them and then you gave them a date that they couldn't attend with 3 days notice. How hard is it for your staff to give proper notice? Representative Luna assumes zero accountability for following through on behalf of the U.S. government. We're like Congress on this front, my friends. Congress has failed to penetrate the United States government's own process. So your own failures and stop blame shifting. Play SCIF all you want. This is a rookie move. You lose trust permanently. Next comment. Many are hopeful that the next step would be witnesses beyond Elizondo, Mellon, and Grush, i.e. those with direct first-hand knowledge who the former have identified or alluded to since at least 2017. Seems like the next hearing in September may be trending this way. Yeah, it just gets deeper and deeper. The overall audience out there. Here we go. Another person. Pigbite says, subpoena the people that David Grush gave you on his list, not the people who already gave hours of testimony. Dave gave you the keys and nothing has been done since 2023. It's exactly right. What the fuck have they been doing? Let's start seeing results from this task force. Yeah, there's some people who are on either side, but it's overwhelmingly going against Anna Polina. Now, there's another one I've got here, a really good tweet. Do I have it here? No, this is not the one, and I've got another one here, not that one. Where did it go? I'll find it here, folks. This is another really good one. Not that one. This one. Not that one. Let me get to it. Not that one. I know I've got one here from Joe Maguria. We'll hit this one. I talked with about it. Okay. Okay. Here we go. I found it. Thank you, Joe Murgia, for the great work that you do on X. My God, great resource for everybody. Let's get into it. Here we go. Okay. Coming from the UFO, disingenuous bullshit. This public drama started on May 15th thanks to Rep. Luna, and we learned about it via Matt Laszlo and Joe Cahill from News Nation. Luna to Laszlo. By the way, Christopher Mellon got sick. LUE Elizondo got sick. And Mr. David Grush was also not feeling well. But Grush has been very helpful. My message is, we got the SCIF. You guys need to be here for the SCIF briefings. So has Luna in the past mentioned them by name? Yes, absolutely, to reporters. Next, Luna to Cahill. 3 of the 4 main ones were sick, so we're going to get it back on the books and see if they show up. They had the SCIF Flu. So let's get past the Rogan stuff. And yeah, what are we dealing with here? The disingenuous bullshit is off the meter, folks. It's fighting and infighting and pointing fingers, and let's just get disclosure done. If you have the information, just stop sitting on it. Stop dropping little hints about it and do your job and bring it out. That's why we've got this whole UAP, Disclosure of National Secrets Task Force. Maybe her being the lead and she pushed for it. Maybe that wasn't the best way to get there. So let me go ahead and see what else we've got here. And we've got that one with Lou. Twitter drama screenshots. Let's see. We've got that one. We covered it. That's the one we just covered. Lose that. Let's get to the next one here. See what else we've got in this thing. Yeah, it's a mess, folks. Here we go. This one's from Anna Polina Luna. 8 hours ago. We got a full tweet here. Strange and frankly bizarre post from someone I didn't even name. LUE Elizondo, you have my number. That was the only part we saw on the news broadcast. Yet you went on X instead of contacting me directly. We've been coordinating with the same organization you were a part of, only to learn that after the UAPDF roundtable that you had left. Correct me if I'm wrong. Well, yeah, of course he left. Regardless, you could have still come to the SCIF at any time. As I told you, we'll work around your schedule. Well, Lou's been opening a restaurant and other stuff, and if you haven't invited him and you haven't sent him a plane ticket and accommodations, just maybe he's not going to show up. Really quick, I'm going to go ahead and we got another super chat that came in from Faze Will. This isn't some flimsy Mickey Mouse UFO show. Thank you very much, Faze Will. Appreciate for your ongoing support of everything we do here at Disclosure tonight. Let me get back to this here. Regardless, you still okay. So let this be a lesson for UAP whistleblowers. We have an open SCIF policy. If you have information to share, we will gladly host you. How Lou handled this wasn't just immature, it was odd, especially since I never mentioned him by name. Yes, you have mentioned him by name in the past. You've just forgotten about it. Isn't that odd? Isn't that immature? The fact is, he never returned despite our willingness to host him. Did you try to schedule it with him? Did you try and go ahead and send him an airline ticket and say, we've got it scheduled for this day, please come? The fact is, he never returned despite our willingness to host him. And yes, I still extend the invitation now. If you have anything, come in and brief us. We've got the SCIF. It is 100% on you. Talk about the biggest case of he said, she said, he said. Oh boy, what a freaking mess it's turned into. So Anything else we're missing here? All right, we've got more emails that I believe were released by Luna. Let's go ahead and bring them up next. They are just opening up the drawers of disclosure for us. I love it. Let me go ahead and zoom that up a little bit so we can get to it and scroll through it. All right, from Mitchell. And see, I guess we could, maybe this could be from Lou, because the way that the text is blacked out, we could actually go ahead and see it. Just checking to make sure everything is good. Next. Thank you. We'll get the clearance info sent over ASAP. Confirmed on 10:30 on the 15th. Next is in the drama land. Is the briefing confirmed for the 15th? One of the participants just boarded their flight, as we haven't heard conclusively that. Okay, so this sounds like and looks like another overshoot that came out that's been released about the topic of what's been going on. So there's just a lot of back and forth between Luna and, Askapols. Here's a source for Luna's quotes over at Matt Laszlo and Askapol. We could play the audio clip of that. Why not? Let me say copy link address. Let me get across to my Brave browser, which I'm already in. Well, let's just go ahead and play it. Where is the audio on this? Hold on, it's too much far off the screen. Does he have the audio with this one? Should be where he says listen to. Sorry, I'm looking for the overall. Maybe there isn't audio.
I thought I saw it at the bottom there,
Yeah,
Thomas.
so that's a different one. Okay, so we have 2 SCIF briefings this week, and by the way, Christopher Mellon got sick and LUE Elizondo got sick. Yeah, and Mr. Grush also was not feeling well. So there's transcripts at the bottom, but I think, and there's another story that starts here. So I don't think there's an audio clip on this one, but it is a story covered over on Matt Laszlo at Askapol. So there's just a lot of stuff going on here. Had a lot of he said and she said and finger pointing and everything. I don't think this goes well or bodes well for disclosure. What are your thoughts?
Well, Thomas, I'm going to agree that it was a big mix up there, but I still chalk that off to communication breakdowns. And then personalities.
Yeah.
And I still think the staff may have been involved. You know, it could well be that Luna, with good intentions, said, what happened to those guys? And some staffer said, oh, they called in sick. He may have made that up. You know, you never know that.
Mm-hmm.
I like both those people. And I think I chalk it up to each of them made the mistake of attacking the other one. But when it boils down to it and you dissect the whole thing, it was just a breakdown in communication.
Yeah. Well, potentially, I would see so, but she accused Lou of putting stuff on Twitter, and she just goes and amps it up rather than going and selling down. Now, there is a message out here from Burleson, who we'll get to in a second, that says, hey, come on, guys, settle down. I'll take the blame for what went wrong. But before that, since we're talking about the secrets chair, we've got a clip here with a headline coming from Matt Laszlo at Askapol. Luna held out to beat out Burchett as the secrets chair, coming from Chairman Grothman. So let's go ahead. I've got the audio clip here ready to play. Let's go ahead and play this one. And let me get to there. And here we go, folks. Let's play it.
Hey, how are you, sir? Do you know what's up with your Safe Airspace for Americans Act? What do you think? What's that? What do you think? Just curious. Any movement, any bills coming up that you can see attaching it to? Or is the problem solved?
No, I don't.
Yeah.
Call my office.
Yeah, but no update on it. Is it still a priority?
Well, we want to get it done.
Yeah.
It's a priority, but we'd like to maybe adjust to something.
Maybe a transportation bill, or
That would be an ideal place.
yeah, but not going to be for a while. Any reason why the UAP issue hasn't really come up this Congress? And there hasn't been public hearings yet?
I think they had one, didn't they?
What's that?
They had one, didn't they?
Not this year. It was last year at the end. Some Democrats say it feels like Republican leaders are trying to quiet the issue, but
I don't know if that's true.
yeah.
They haven't told me to quiet it.
Yeah.
Obviously, Congresswoman Luna held out to be the virtue of she'd have to ask her. I thought we had.
So here's the hard part to listen to. I know there's some words in there. It's like listening to a foreign language you barely know, and or actually someone from a different part of the country who can barely speak English. Close your eyes and just listen. There's some words in there that we can get out.
They haven't told me to quiet it.
Yeah.
Obviously, Congresswoman Luna held out to be the virtue of she'd have to ask her. I thought we had a hearing earlier this year.
At least I'll check. I don't even, this has been a busy year, sir. I could be wrong on that.
There was a hearing in January.
Oh, Mace had hers in December, so after the election, but before the new Congress. Yeah. In that, the in-between times. Well, hey, have a good August if I don't see you. Sorry.
There we go, folks. Yes, I know it was hard to hear, and he's out a little bit, well, tired or old or either way. Thank God for Matt Laszlo catching this for us in his translations to let us understand what really happened here. It's a interesting topic that we've got. Maybe that would explain why Burchett has been so vacant, why he hasn't been talking about UFOs, why he hasn't been bringing up saying it's a cover-up time and time again. It's something we're going to have to dig into and maybe get him a question to him eventually. But we miss his leadership in the area of disclosure, to say the absolute least. Let me get back into the studio again. All right, let's go ahead and do this. Oh, there we go, back into the solo. All right, see what else we've got here. Yeah, a lot of interesting things going on with, the whole case of he said, she said, he said, and everything. Oh, there goes YouTube. I have to go and refresh that, and I have to go ahead and refresh this. Hey, at least people aren't having issues with their audio today. Fingers crossed on that one. Let me go ahead. Thank you very much for the super chat, Mr. Grimlock. I'm doing my best here. A lot of fun stuff to talk about. Let me see what the audience has been saying. Sorry, I've been ignoring you today, folks. You're my 13th fan or 13th man. Let me see if there's anything coming up. Yes, coming in from Evan B. Dag Nabbit, or it's a cover-up. Absolutely. Thomas, can you get some credible people on your podcast? I think it would be useful. Yeah, we could try and do that. It just depends on where we can possibly take it. Yes, Low Temp Gaming says, I vote for catastrophic disclosure. Yeah. I've tried to offer help many times, but anytime I do, he gets very upset, and I wish he would let us help, because I'd be willing to help him whatever kind of help he needed, whether it was equipment, etc. Yeah, we're never getting disclosure from the governments. Yeah, that could be that way. Hopefully not. What else we have in the chat? All right, calling them and go. All right, so on that note, let's go ahead and see what else I've got here. Interesting news. Let's see. I think this would take us into, no, not that one. Late breaking UFO news. Let's see what's in my feed for stuff that we haven't covered yet. Actually, I've got one more. There is another story that came from Matt Laszlo that we haven't covered yet. The next one is the struggle. In the midst of Trump's war on leakers, the UAP caucus needs classified access. He's talking to Representative Nick Begich, a Republican from Arkansas, who's a member of the Science and Space Technology Committee. Let's see what he has to say. Here we go, folks. We get into this. Let's play it.
Hey, how's it going? Hey, what do you make the White House saying we can't trust Congress with classified information?
Well, I think we've proven that even within our own conference, information is leaked almost real time. So I understand the concerns. I also recognize that there's a constitutional responsibility to inform Congress when it comes to actions that would fall under the War Powers Act. So I think we need to make sure that we're following the law, inform the Congress, and we expect a briefing on the actions in Iran.
And especially like seeing it's UAP investigations, even secret task force doing other stuff. Do you think this could kind of curtail some of those investigations if unchecked?
Help me understand a little bit better what you're asking.
Well, they're saying, the White House says that they, what is it? They're declaring a war on leakers. So they
Well, I do think we have a problem with leakers. We've had a problem for many years with leakers from the executive branch. I think we need to make sure that when information is necessarily classified, that it stays that way. And we can't expect a porous or permeable legislative branch or executive branch because it jeopardizes national security and other issues. So
Here you go. Thank you, sir.
All right, there we go. Whether or not we got to the end of it, let's go ahead and shut that down. So, not a lot there, but there's a war on leakers. But you know what? I have to bring this up and say, Ed, do you think there's a overpreponderance of leakers right now with regards to disclosure in the federal government?
I don't think there's enough of them. It's not too many of them. But the question is, how come they never call them back? When something pops up, how come they never say, "Well, you missed the last meeting, make the next one"? So the only thing that'll make me happy is if in September, when they do the House hearing again, that there's a whole bunch of whistleblowers that are going to speak and say something important.
Now, the latest rumor coming from this, my friend, is that they've got one person lined up to be a speaker at the next hearing, and it's someone from Greer. All the whistleblowers that are associated with Jeremy Corbell at this point are not willing to come forward and testify. Maybe they'd have to go ahead and give them a subpoena to go, but none of them at this point trust the process. They don't think the House of Representatives and their task force is doing anything for disclosure. They've gotten a ton of information in, and they haven't done anything with it. Look at all the information that came forward from Grush. What have they really done with it, Ed? Have they put out the subpoenas for those 40 people, of which some of them would be people who would be hostile witnesses to bring forward? No, they haven't done it, and they haven't put subpoenas out for it. More importantly, they haven't, they're threatening Lou and Mellon and everybody else who has been there time and time again that we're going to subpoena you. No, why aren't they subpoenaing the people who have the information that can actually move this thing forward?
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't have the answer to that, but something needs to break.
Yeah, it definitely does. Freezer Man, your hand is up, my friend.
To the point about Jeremy Corbell, he just said that he's given them a list of whistleblowers. And I guess it was on UFO Jesus or one of the other podcasts that Jeremy says there's going to be a hearing, but we'll just have to wait and see, I suppose.
Yeah, we'll have to see who's going to be at that hearing and what they're going to try and accomplish. And more importantly, if they do try to accomplish something, let's see what they can do. Let's hope they actually get this information and use it and actually move forward with it. It's a mess that they certainly don't. Let me go ahead and see if there's anything else in here. No, a lot about stuff. Okay, so I've got a tweet here from Eric Burleson, who's trying to go ahead Thank you for all the wonderful super chats, everybody. Thank you very much. I appreciate it here today. If I'm a little hasty, it's just me trying to keep the whole thing going. Kind of having fun. Let's get to it now, and let's bring up this. This is what I have on the title card today. Let's find that. Eric Burleson in the middle, putting his hands out like, come on, settle down. Let's come together. And Matt Laszlo poking up, saying, I got you. Lou off to the side, smiling, saying, you can't get me. So either way, let's get back to this one. This is an interesting one coming from Eric Burleson, trying to get everybody's, anaplena and calm her down. Good luck on that one. Here, let's get to this one. Full solo. Okay. Come on, let me get this so I can bring it up a little bit higher. And another super chat from Vern Dude. Thank you very much, Vern Dude. Holy cow. You are both patriots who are passionate about serving our country. I take blame for this because the problem we are facing is we are trying to align the stars and have everyone be in the SCIF briefing at the same time, which is clearly more difficult than I thought, especially considering that it's on their own whistleblowers' dime, and many of them legitimately have service-related health issues to varying degrees. LUE Elizondo, that being said, if you wish to come and do the briefing in the SCIF, we can work around your schedule. I'm happy to talk offline about how we can make it work, and further, how we can make the experience for whistleblowers not as much as a sacrifice as it has been. Interesting to say the least. So Burleson's trying to say, yeah, we were trying to do something. It kind of sounds like we didn't know what the heck we were trying to do, trying to get everyone in the SCIF at the same time. But, again, what happens when something goes wrong? You say, oops, I'm sorry, something went wrong. Let's figure it out and take it offline and go and fix it. And just to go ahead and pile on the shit, it doesn't work. It doesn't go anywhere except push people away from the truth.
What do you think is their reason for publicly doing what they're doing? I mean, even this post with Burleson, why does he have to air his dirty linen on why he's frustrated that he can't beat people in the SCIF instead of just picking up the phone and calling Lou? It looks like that would be so much easier.
It could be, but when it comes down to it as well, where's that at? When it comes down to that as well, let me find this little thing here and fix it. It's in the way of stuff. All right, where is that at? Turn that off. Okay, so if you're a leader, right? You're a manager, you're the CEO of a company, and your company makes a mistake, right? Like someone may be on, or they try to do something and it failed. As the leader of that group or organization, you raise your hand and say, I'm sorry, that was my fault. Here's what we should have done. Let's try to go ahead and correct it. Trying to calm things down by someone taking blame, right? It takes it out of the hands of Luna, brings it over here, leaves her where she has nothing more to go ahead and start arguing on. Someone else took the blame, and hopefully it can calm it down. So Burleson's doing an excellent job as a leader, although he's not the leader of the Secrets Task Force, and neither is Tim Burchett. So we're actually getting a good insight to who the real person of Anaplena Luna is. It could be worse. Could be better. I don't know.
Well, it's still frustrating that they're doing it that way and not getting anything done. That is introduce a bill that says on this particular day, all whistleblowers have immunity. Come in and dump everything you got for us.
Yeah. That would be really good. I tell you, it would be good, but it's just one of those things where we're at in the overall scope of things. We want it to go forward, at least hopefully since Eric Burleson's tweet came out. I think it's calmed down just a little bit, but let's get disclosure back on track. Let's get disclosure moving forward. Let's not just hear from whistleblowers. Let's actually do something when a whistleblower brings forward information. If you got shot down in Eglin, why aren't you going and putting together a subpoena to make that commander come and testify? it seems like a lot of people are getting the pass card. There's not a lot of things that are getting done, but they're getting bitchy about performance issues. So
why do you think we're not hearing anything from David Grush? He's been there in Burleson's office for what, a year? About that, something like that?
No, he's been there about 6 months or so at this point, I think.
It's 6 months, and we haven't heard a peep out of him. I don't know if they put a muzzle in. Maybe they hired him to get in there to keep him quiet. Who knows? You work for us now, so, you're on the non-disclosure side.
That could be it. It honestly could be it. And it's just whatever happened to David Grush's op-ed. It was supposed to be out a couple of years ago. And then it was supposed to be out again in the first couple of months of this year. Nothing, not a peep, not a word. Now, we didn't hear directly from him. We heard it from other people on behalf of information coming from Grush, but that never happened. Grush went quiet. We had his lawsuit that was potentially the reason of what was going on. He lost that one categorically. We covered that earlier last week. But I don't know why we haven't heard from him. There was other stuff he had to say clearly that he was going to bring in his op-ed. Why did he go silent?
I think someone's muzzled him. That's what I think.
Yeah. Potentially. I guess we could ask the audience on this one, see what the audience takes on this one. Start a poll. Grush got muzzled. Audience, you're going to take it this way. Let's see where the audience goes and takes this one, folks. First poll of the day. Sorry we didn't get one sooner. Grush got muzzled or cold feet. Let's find out. Hey, Google, set a timer for 1 minute and 30 seconds, please.
Sure. 1 minute and 30 seconds.
All right.
Starting now.
Sure, leaning toward muzzled when you look at it.
Yeah, 80% of the audience overall is saying muzzled. What do you think, Ed? Muzzled or cold feet?
Yeah, I think he's muzzled.
Yeah.
I agree.
What say you, Michael? What do you think? Muzzled or cold feet?
Not at me?
Yeah. Michael Sokoloff. Yes, you.
No, I think he's he doesn't want to interfere in any way with his lawsuit that he lost so far, and he's appealing it. So we'll see what happens in the appeal, but I think he just doesn't want to jeopardize anything in that procedure.
Yeah. Sounds like he needed a better lawyer to get past that one. But so, yeah, with just 34 seconds left, 78% of our audience, there is no way this is going to go anywhere. Reaching back into our audience, who else we have there? Oh, she just left. None of your business. What say you? How would you vote on this?
I think he's just taking things cautiously at the moment.
Okay. Interesting. So not one answer that's up there, but everyone has a correct answer for how they got it. But we got 5 seconds left with just 66 votes in. Let's go ahead and turn off the music, bring that down. Let's take a screenshot of this for posterity's sake. Let's put the chat back where it's at, where I can keep an eye on it. Let's end the poll. And our final answer that we got from our audience. Here we go. Grush got muzzled. 79% of our audience. 21% of our audience think of other reasons he got cold feet. We'll see where it goes. So I'll go with, and let's just go with the answer that Grush definitely got muzzled on this one. Sounds like a good answer to me.
Expand that out too, Thomas, and look at all the other people that have earlier testified, and they're just silent right now. I mean, Gallaudet, for example, we're not hearing anything from him coming out. Eric Davis is being very quiet.
Well, Gallaudet doesn't have any direct experience. Gallaudet was all experience from what other people had told him, so all of his information is also secondhand.
Except that his position of responsibility at the time gives some credibility to it. He was oceanographer of the...
I know, but he doesn't have any firsthand sightings or experience, and I think that's where we're going. We're trying to get around from people saying, hey, this guy told me this, but I don't have any evidence, or this guy told me that, but I don't have anything. They want to find people who have actually been there, and been a part of it. Nothing against him, but it's just kind of where his experience kind of leads him.
Yeah, well, that could be, but there's others too that have testified, and we don't hear anything from them. I know I'm repeating this, but it just seems like we keep spinning our wheels and we keep repeating the same thing. We're not moving forward. We need something to kind of kick the can down the road a little bit farther here.
Yeah, some good evidence, some good facts to back up that evidence.
But didn't you think it was interesting that Luna said she had actually seen pictures of what was reported to be non-human? I think that was interesting. It's the first time a congressional member has said, I have seen evidence.
Yeah, it could be. I'll have to double check on that, but that's a good point you made, Ed. Thank you for bringing that up. But then again, we had evidence from Grush saying, I saw this and I saw this and everything else. And heck, he used to give briefings to the president.
Luna's, I think, has more credibility than Grush just because of her position.
I would say Grush has more credibility than Luna based on his position and his pedigree.
Yeah, you're right. Credibility is not the right word. I would say power or influence, maybe. The ability to actually do something with it. Because really, when you look at what happened to Grush, he bared his soul, and basically they just cut him off 2 years ago. Nobody followed up on that. And you're absolutely right. That is really what should have triggered multiple investigations with every one of the names that he had dropped.
They've got the information. Now do something with it. It's more than just bringing it out and informing the public. It's informing the public about, hey, this is what people talked about, and then comes back and say, this is what we investigated and we figured out. It's kind of like Watergate without actually doing, they've got people that they could go dig into and find the answers, but they're not doing their job of doing the investigation.
Well, that's a story in itself then, isn't it? In other words, what is the secret reasons for not letting these people speak or for not letting them expose more information? Somebody knows something that says, keep your mouth shut.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and actually, yes, Luna did see something when she was based out. Someone brought it up. She did see something. This is old news, though. We reported on this about a year and a half ago. She was based out of the Air Force Base in, I believe, Oregon. And while she actually didn't fly when there was some jet fighters, F-15s or something that they dispatched to go up and see something, when the pilots came back, they actually did go ahead and talk about that particular sighting. So that's when she was, I believe, was in the Guard.
Yeah, I was thinking that was in one of the Northeast states, but you may be right on Oregon.
Exactly. Get into this, admit all, we'll get through this. Anyway, wow, it's a great show so far. I think I'm just about, let me take and see if there's anything else that I haven't covered here. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. Let me go ahead and take a look here. We got the latest from Luna. All right, we've got that, we've got that one, more on that. We've got that one. I'm going through all the videos. Okay, we've got a really bad UFO video that has been going around, and I had to go ahead and just post it just because of how silly it potentially is. So, headline here before we get there. Susan, your hand is up.
Yeah, did you hear that the head of NASA has come forward and said that that they need to have some serious talks about disclosure? Did you hear that?
Yes, I have.
That's pretty interesting.
Give me a second. Let's see if I can find it here. It's not there. Let's go way back here. Okay, so this is coming from this week. All right, so this is coming from, let me bring this one up. Thank you for reminding me. It's an audio clip. So thank you, Susan, for reminding me on this one. Let's get this up here. Video guest, and let's listen into it, Susan. All right, Tim Burchett is saying, now give it to the rest of America. So NASA Administrator Sean Duffy says he's requested, quote, the alien briefing, end quote. I just want to be really clear. I haven't had the alien briefing yet, but I've asked for it. Remember, folks, these things may not be aliens. They may be a non-human intelligence that have had residence on this planet longer than humanity. So let's go ahead and listen to see what Sean Duffy says.
Tulsi Gabbard this week talked about the fact that aliens could be real and she might want to declassify a few things. Now, all I can tell you is what I know, Duffy. We know the drones are not from New Jersey because they've been using their blinkers. Now what?
Well, first off, Jimmy, saw the drones. The drones are real, right? I don't think we had the accoutrements in position to actually see what that was. But I but say what? I just want to be really clear. I haven't had the alien briefing yet, but I've asked for it.
Okay.
So I can't comment on it. And I can't wait to come back and talk about the highly classified information on your show. I'm going to get in this briefing. And by the way, I'm kidding. I'm not going to do that. But
So there you go. He's already saying, going to come talk about the highly classified information. So if he gets to know something, good chance he's not going to be able to talk about it to the public. Let's continue.
Actually, you know what I do? I mean, I think we're in a space right now in America that we want transparency. I mean, people do, and there's decisions that have to be made. But as much as if feasibly possible, we want to share as much information with the American people.
Tulsi Gabbard this week talked about
All right, so we want to share information from with the American people, but at least what he's saying here, Susan, he isn't bringing up, well, I'll be able to talk about it as long as it's not a risk to our national security, which I'm sure someone will tell him that. Your thoughts, or not?
Yeah, no, I just thought it was very interesting. I think UFO Jesus or something I watched it on there. It was very interesting.
Yeah. And this is the clip you heard probably?
No, it was different.
Okay.
Hey, Thomas, if we compare that to business, let's take a look at that for a second. Sean Duffy's been in that double role as the administrator of NASA for what? It's been weeks, a couple of months? I don't know how far back it goes. But compare that to if you were just hired on as the CEO of General Motors and you said, I want to see the plans for next year's whatever. You'd have them on your desk the next day. So what is it? We've got a top official in a very important position at NASA, and he says, I've asked for the UAP file or the alien file, the way he worded it, and he still hasn't got it yet. What's wrong with that? He can't even get his own staff to give him what he's asking for.
Not a good leader. Because if that's what's going on, he should go bring in the additional people who are reporting to him, bring in the people, get there, say, I want this stuff. They can say, I don't have it. Someone else can get it. It's like, okay, everyone's going to stay in here. You get your person in here. You're going to stay in here, message them, bring it in. I want that file. And do it, like a CEO would. Demand the information that's available within the organization, unless they're kind of keeping him out of there. Because he's appointed by the president and he's only, what do they consider him, a temporary employee. It's the same problem that DNI Avril Haines had in the past when she tried to move forward disclosure. She was completely shut down by the gatekeepers who didn't want the truth to come out.
Well, maybe the same thing with him. You don't know within his organization who really is controlling that flow of information. I don't know. Are you going to show Tulsi Gabbard's video? Do you have a clip of that? Where she was on Rogan.
I think we played that already.
Well, I'm having a flashback to it because I remember before we came on the show, I said, I think the real telling thing is her expressions, especially when they say, do you believe in those? And she said, well, I've got my personal feelings.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
I got to separate that from my job. And you could see in her face, she was wanting to say, UFO, 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 but she couldn't do it.
Well, she talked about it and said, my husband really likes it. He's all smiling now because he knows that I'm talking about this is something he's very interested in. She talked about it stuff and she has information, but nothing she can talk about at this point in time, meaning could be inferring that she does have information. She's seen the stuff, but at this time, she's not ready to talk about it. They've been kind of busy, it sounds like, cleaning house in the intelligence community, which is well overdue.
Yeah, maybe not this time means a week, a month, a year, or an entire tour in that position. We may not hear anything from her. We never got anything out of Radcliffe, back when he was DNI.
But there were things that he was saying that he actually did want to go ahead and bring out, but he didn't. So now that he's in the role where he's at, and Tulsi Gabbard actually has that role, it's actually an opportunity for him to go ahead and try and bring out the truth. to finish
Well,
off the disclosure that they couldn't get to. I would hope they wouldn't. Now, Tulsi also said, we've also been in office for only, a short amount of time. There's a lot of time ahead. Or did that come from, I think that came from, it was either her or it came from VP Vance. I think it was from Vance. So interesting all around, my friend. Yeah. Thank you for reminding me to go ahead and bring this up, Susan. It's always good to go ahead and find stuff that's in my back cache of different things that we don't potentially get a chance to go through in the past. I think we've got about everything. Nope. What's this one? Dee Dee Johnson. No, nothing. All right. On that note, anything else from anyone else in the back? Are we good for the day? Oh, actually, I do have one more video. What am I doing? I keep on forgetting about it. I wanted to bring this one up. This one's a bit silly. And there's stupid sound effects put in the back. This is supposedly someone out there, looks like in Salt Lake City, U.S., saw something interesting in the clouds. Yeah, let's go ahead and play this one. It's a bit kooky, but you know what? We know it's fake at this point. So just for all those believers out there, let me just go ahead and show it to you. And actually, this was also debunked as being made with CGI, but let's get to this desktop only document solo. All right, here we go. So this is someone in Salt Lake City, U.S. saying that, look what I recorded up in the sky. Up in the sky. Well, looks too clear. Looks like CGI. It's up in the clouds, but whatever it is, clearly it's not an alien. Clearly it's not a UFO, but someone trying to have fun with CGI. So, yeah. You know how big that thing would have to be up there if it was up there in the clouds? Craziness. But reminds me of the robot from the day that the Earth stood still. I'd say that one. Or Robbie the Robot. Good one, Ryo Dragon. I agree with you on that one. Let's see if there's anything else we've got going here. Oh no, I think we've about hit it. Is there anything else that I've missed? Nope. Is this one? No. Sky News. Let's see what's going on here. All right, you wanted that clip about Tulsi Gabbard, Ed?
Yeah, I'd like to see it again.
All right, this is a different one, but this is coming from Sky News. Going ahead and covering this piece. This is in my feed right here. So this is where Tulsi Gabbard hints at the belief in aliens. So I'm in this one. Let's get this video up. Here we go.
Well, watch your facial expressions.
National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard last week told my friend Miranda Devine on her new podcast that she believes other life forms might be real. And she said she's continuing to search for the truth.
Is there anything in the files that you think you could find or you have found?
Nothing that I'm prepared to talk about today. We are I'm just going to say this. We're continuing to look for the truth and share that truth with the American people.
So do you believe that there could be aliens?
I honestly, like my personal belief. I have my own views and opinions.
Right.
In this role, I got to be careful with what I share.
Yeah, it was an intriguing conversation. And joining me now is a journalist who's been investigating UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomenon, for years. Former 60 Minutes journalist Ross Coulthart is the author of a book called In Plain Sight, an investigation into UFOs and impossible science, and is now the special international correspondent for News Nation. Ross, great to see you. Now, what did you make of these comments by Tulsi Gabbard?
Tulsi Gabbard is saying what a huge number of US officials have been saying for the past few years, Sherry. There's a huge sea change happening in American executive government right now. They're suddenly waking up to the reality of UFOs. It all started in 2017 when the New York Times revealed that the Pentagon had secretly been investigating UFOs. And then it's come out more recently that a large number of officials are very interested in the phenomenon. Notably, most recently, Tulsi Gabbard, of course, the Director of National Intelligence, but also Vice President Vance. He admitted very recently that he's been watching a lot of UFO videos, and like everyone else, he's intrigued.
Well, there we go. We even Ross popped in there, Ed. I didn't expect that one.
Yeah, I saw that. And did you watch her expression? She was squirming a little bit in her chair. It's like she really wanted to say something.
And I was squirming in my chair too, but I figured let's just play the rest of the clip and see where it goes.
Oh, there you go.
Does Ross saying anything make me believe less or more? No, not anymore. Back when David Grush came out, great piece, but I'll leave it alone at that. You don't have something nice to say, don't say nothing, right?
Yeah, that's about right, Thomas.
Absolutely on that one. On that note, I want to go ahead and thank everybody who's been watching this show, hanging out with us. Remember, if you've hung with us this long, you're still with us, you haven't given us a thumbs up or a subscribe, please help us out. This is something I do on my own time, and the only funding we get is from our fans here, so we appreciate the funding that goes ahead, that brings in to make Disclosure Tonight a reality, and liking and subscribing helps us grow the show and helps YouTube share it to a lot more people and everything. I want to go ahead and thank everybody for all the wonderful super chats we've gotten today. And who am I talking about? Where did that go? I lost it. How did I lose that? Here we go. I want to thank everybody for your wonderful super chats today. Who the heck am I talking about? Let's go back in time and start it off and thank. Let me shut down the logo overlays for right now. Let's go to none. All right, I want to thank Wes Decker for starting off the super chats tonight, and then the Vern Dude again. FaZe Will, thank you very much for your 2 super chats tonight, my friend. Absolutely. Please like, share, and subscribe. Mr. Grimlock, thank you very much for your super chat again. Gizmo, Mr. Grimlock again. Wow. Yes, I'll wear the Hawaiian shirt tomorrow. We also have FaZe Will again, Anonymous Rex, thank you very much. Vern Dude, Firefly City, K Northrop, Mr. Grimlock again, and the Vern Dude one more time. How about that? I want to thank everybody for your love and support of everything we do here. I want to thank everyone in the audience for coming out tonight and having such a great time. Happy Friday. Hopefully you had a good one. And then, as we usually say at the end of every broadcast of Disclosure Tonight, eyes open. No fear. Be safe, everybody. But
go back to Party City where you belong.
And we'll catch you on the flip side. Good night, everybody. Y'all come back now. Here. See you soon. Bye-bye.